shall be 120. So because of the flesh, because of the unrenewed mind, he chopped us from 600, 800, 900, having children at 180 and 160, whenever you choose to. He chopped that because of flesh. So what is that telling us? That's telling us when we chop the flesh ourselves, what we have access to. Well, how do you think that Joshua and Caleb, when they were in their 80s, were just as strong as they were in their 40s? Because they believed this principle. They came after this. They came after this. So they were under the 120 rule. But yet in their 80s, they were still slaying boys like they was in their 40s. Because they understood. Walking with the man of God, submitted to the man of God, gives me access to ancient power. Gives me access to unlimited power. Because, listen, the Holy Spirit is ancient. Because when God created the heavens and the earth, he was hovering over the earth. He was just hovering in the atmosphere, waiting for his time to infiltrate. Waiting for his time to be released. So he's ancient. So how do you think that they was able to do this, having children at 180, having children at 150, having children at 90? It's because the spirit, the ancient spirit of God came on them. And they walked in it. This seems like this is just way too much. Okay. The 6:19. Okay. So in verse 19, we're still on Noah. No, that's not right. 6:9, right? Yes. It says, this is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was just a man, perfect in his generations. Letting you know, he was just a man. He's just a man. He wasn't a supernatural being. He was a man. But perfect in his generations, Noah walked with God. Noah walked with God. So his grandfather Enoch walked with God, and then he walked with God. Okay, let's go to Malachi 2:6. You don't know, Malachi is the last book of the Old Testament, right before Matthew. See, most of the time you only hear about Malachi and those that rob God in the tithes and offerings, but there's more in Malachi than just that. Okay, it says in Malachi 2:6, the law of truth was in his mouth, and injustice was not found on his lips. This is God speaking. Just to let you know. And God said, he walked with me in peace and equity, and turned many away from iniquity. For the lips, now listen, praise and worship team, as a matter of fact, everybody, you need to hear this and clearly understand, because our understanding is way off. See, you are all called to be kings and priests. You are all called to be kings and priests. And your job, this is what God is saying, if you walk with me, then you should be turning many away from iniquity. Meaning everybody that comes in contact with you, you should be infecting them for the kingdom. You should be infecting them with the Spirit of God, because he's inside you. But see, you have to build the presence of God inside you. And in order to do that, you have to do what the priests do. And the priests join themselves to God. See, this isn't just apostles, pastors, prophets. No, if you are a believer, you are called to be a king and a priest. Women, a queen and a priest. Your objective is to maintain, understand, and demonstrate priesthood.
That's right. Come on. Amen.
That's not popular, huh? You go to the big tank, they just tell you about your tithe and offering. Don't care if you're a priest or not. I'm the priest, bring all your givings to me. That's what it is. Everything you have, just bring it to me. No. When you're a priest, when you understand priesthood, that means that you have to pay attention to what comes out your mouth. That means you have to pay attention to how you act. That means that, listen, my dad, listen how the spirit is. My father brought up Tim Tebow on Thursday and how they blackballed him because of his stand for God, because of his boldness for Jesus. Well, guess what? The next day, I see a clip that's sent to me of Tebow. He's not playing baseball. He's in the minor leagues, in the farm league, but he's playing baseball, and a fan has a seizure. Tebow stops. In the middle of the game, Tebow stops, and he goes to the man, and the man is laying there having a seizure, and Tebow lays his hands on the man and prays for the man. Prays for the man. And the seizure stops. And then he stayed there. He stayed there with the man until the ambulance came. And guess what it says? Miracle, it says Tebow creates miracle. Or miracle on baseball field with Tim Tebow. I mean, are you understanding? A professional athlete that was a #1 draft pick for the NFL kicked out because every time the camera came on his face, he was saying Jesus. They said, we've had enough of that. So guess what? That didn't discourage him. He didn't compromise. You don't want to let me in here? I'll go to a different sport. Oh, what? The power of God needs to be demonstrated? Hold on, preacher. Hold on, referee. Let me go over there and show you what Christians do. But we're on our job afraid. Nobody's watching. No camera is there on you. And you still can't tell anybody your testimony. You still can't lay their coffin, they sick right next to you. You don't even say, hey, would you like me to pray for you and make that go away? They don't even come to you. You say, did you get some NyQuil? Get some Sudafed? I got some in my purse, or I got some in my desk. Never ever say, you know what, I can kill that if you want. Or on the job, I gotta be careful, because if they see me talking about God, I may be fired. That's where the Christians at today.
Amen.
So he says he walked with me in peace and equity and turned many away from iniquity. For the lips of a priest should keep knowledge. The lips of a priest should keep knowledge. Should keep wisdom. Should keep sound counsel. That's what happens when you call and ask for us. That's what you'll get. And people should seek the law from his mouth. Now guess what? This goes for the President of the United States. This goes for senators and congressmen. This goes for anybody that's in a place of authority or anybody that is not.